Oh, thank you for mute. It's early in the morning. I always forget that. I should probably just leave it on. It'd be safer. Safer, safer, safer. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. So yeah, hi everybody. I'm super tired. I stayed up pretty late last night. I stayed up till like 4. Um, this is not sustainable. It's starting to happen to. It's starting to get to the best of me. My abilities to. Do everything. Good morning. Good morning. As I need to subscribe. I don't. We haven't been able to figure out why the screen posts are not working. We don't know. It's not your fault though, for sure. God damn it. Okay. Oh boy, what a day. Um, I'm just watching. I'm doing a bunch of things at the same time. So we need to add vars, and then we need to finish the doc FS. That is the core. That'll get us back to. Once we have that, we'll be back up to where we need to be. I was not sleeping under there. I could. I was moving it so I had more leg room. Because I'm, ergonomics are a thing. Yeah, so. Like something, I have done it. I have done that. Slept under my desk, yes. Definitely done that. We have full multi-call support built in now. So let me show you what I mean by that. Hey, thanks for the follow. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I've got, here it is. I can, so I'm going to go ahead and, here's my install a program called Bond. I'm always trying to come up with the time. So here's the sample program. This has Bonzai here. Energy. Thank you. Hopefully it stays a good thing. Thank you, Menace, for being here. So here's a sample, okay? So we've got a Bonzai command right here. This doesn't have the aliases on. We should probably turn those on. Let's turn those on. It is, Bond is already, well, I should say Bonzai. Bond. So the program's name is actually Bond. Then it can have aliases. You can separate the aliases with a bar. You can do params, separate params with a bar. That's new. That was not in Bonzai last time. And then, of course, you can use your template fill commands if you want. X.print will do the fill for you automatically. So you can just print. You can use that for printing if you want. So you can do your own. That just makes it much easier. And what else was I going to say? So right here we've got, here we have it. Bonzai. This Bonzai command composes in two other commands: bark cmd and foo cmd. The first one is the default. So we have three commands with the absolute minimums, right? Now I can compile that. And I can type bon tab, and we get all of this stuff out there. The size, change the font. No, absolutely not. There is not a way to do that. So here you go. You got your Bonzai. You have these three programs. So you can see when I typed bon, I have the option. Now this really doesn't need an alias because it's a top level command. So actually let's get rid of that. Let's just do the viewer's version. We can do usage. We can do usage, but we don't have a usage command yet. We don't have documentation of any kind right now, so that's the thing, and that will be in the document. We're going to add the document next after we add bar support. So what I'm trying to get at is you can do bon tab, and it gives you all of the non-hidden aliases. So if you actually want to hide your aliases, you can. You can hide F and something. If you want your aliases to not be hidden, you can leave them. So if I recompile this will not show those things. And then params 1, 2, or 3. Those are also things you can use here. So if you had a call, these are the params that you could use, right? I'll show you. So if I do install this again, tab, now we only get b bar, foo, and whatever. And that comes from bar. Bar has b and whatever. And foo has f and something. But those have been hidden. So, but that's to allow you to decide what you want to do for completion. We fixed completion yesterday, right? And you can tell that these are the same as they run the same command, right? It doesn't switch out though. It runs the same command. And you might want to leave them unhidden, some of the shorter cuts. I tend to hide my aliases. We might want to actually change this to be visible instead of hidden. I don't know. We could make it so that the aliases by default are hidden. But that's how it used to be. It used to be that all the aliases were only shown when you did the help docs. I think that's probably wise. Anyway, but watch how you can do the multi-call. So anything that's an alias, whether you can see it or not, is a multi-call. So I can create a symlink to the bond program called, in this case, whatever. And now I have a symbolic link. This is a multi-call binary. And now I can run whatever. And it runs a bar. Not only that, I can complete it if it's a thing. So we have another one called something that's being hidden, remember? Something up here is being hidden. Something has 3 parameters that it takes, which should be used in completion. So we can use that. We can say do symlink. Whoops. We can do ls to something. And now we have a something command. But more importantly, which is the same command as foo. But we also, more importantly, we have completion. So I can do the params completion on this, and it works. There's no way to know, and that works for a hard link, a symlink, or a copy of the command. Yeah. So that is a very powerful thing. That allows that we have that demonstrates that we have full multi-call support. And I'm going to take a moment to drop. I'm going to make aliases hidden by default. Um, I mean, I feel like aliases should probably be hidden by default. What do you guys think? If they're not hidden, it gets kind of messy. I think they should probably be hidden by default. Then people can run doc, and then they can see all of the aliases for it. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be able to do the completion with those aliases, but they will still work. I'm curious how we could do that. I think we should have aliases hidden automatically. I think we should have aliases hidden automatically. And I think that's how they were. So there's a Zet help. So there's a bunch of stuff here. You see all these? Dder, del, rm, delete. And this is the short usage right here. Yeah. We don't have shortcuts anymore, and we don't have a long descriptions built in anymore. So, what I was trying to say is that, yeah, you know what I think. I think the help is more important than. I'm having thoughts here, so I've been trying to isolate the things that don't belong in here and the things that do. Um, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna write a document file. I'm not. I'm not gonna write it. It's gonna be too pain in the ass. Also, when I do ZD tab, right? There's no Dex is supported. RM does not support. Okay, so yeah. All right, so that is the thing. Yeah, the reason we want this is because then they can call up help. I have to fix some things here. We need to not make completion automatic. We don't want aliases in the completion. No, we don't want that. Okay, so back to the package. I'm sorry I'm so boring, but I got shit to do, and I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to just work. So I'm like the worst streamer ever. I'm so sorry. I promise to. I'll try to answer your quick questions if you have them though while we're working. CMD that go package. So multi-call is working. That's what I was trying to show you. That's all golden. I'm looking at it though. I'm going to remove aliases from the completion. Comp. Complete. Yeah, we don't want to. This is the thing that's doing the hiding, and I think the hidden slice is still a thing. I think we still want it, but if the command is hidden, hide it, and an appended list. So this is just a list of commands, and then this stuff is all adding the aliases. I think this has been saved, but we don't want this. I don't want to force people to automatically have to put in all the aliases that they're hiding. But if all we don't want aliases to display, it's just too much stuff. Because people be hundreds of commands. I also fucking hate paging through lots of commands with their one-line summaries. I would rather see all the alias names, and then pick one out and show the help for it. It's a better workflow. Much better workflow. So we're going to take this out. I'm going to take aliases out. I'm going to take the alias completion out. Let's go ahead and install. This is much better. You just get two every time. And the thing that's cool about that is that when eventually you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do bond, let's see, bond B tab H help or doc. And help will be a silent alternative to help to doc. Bar doc. And we don't have that right now, but dash H is going to be an illegally, actually in the binary command, we're probably going to add support for .h. Dash H, because actually no, we're not doing that. Like, how do I do anything? Tab, just push enter. So if something doesn't have any documentation, we need that to be the default. And that should be that should really be, I mean, they're going to try, what would somebody try? They would try help. They would try bond doc. They're not going to try doc, they're going to try help. They're probably going to try help. They're going to try dash version. So, okay, so that's bond var. Yeah. Well, a lot of systems are not going to have completion at all. Or are they, right? So this is another thing is we're going to make it so that we can auto-generate all of the helper commands for it with dashes in the name so that they can all go in your path. And then you can just do bond tab and you get the dashed option and it'll show you what you need. Which is super cool because that'll make everybody able to do completion, like every single person on the planet, because it's just file completion. So that's going to go into the GHPR. That's going to go into the let's see, complete Bonzai. What, should we call it Bon or Bonzai? Should we call it Bon or Bonzai? Should we call the command Bonzai for setting up the environment and everything? We should probably call it Bonzai, right? If people want to shortcut it, they can. I think we should. A Bonzai CLI tool. I mean, it is kind of hard to type Bonzai. There's nothing called Bon out there. Well, I'm going to be using it all the time. That's why I want it. So, bon means good, by the way, in French. You guys know this, right? What? Everybody's so quiet. Hopefully you guys are working on your own projects. Oh shit, is that a sound in the background? Called Ball for Linux. Are there any commands called Ball for Linux? Maybe static lines can be called Ball, and the thing. I am totally using this. Just wondering if I can name my helper utility ball without major conflict. Good morning, Cocus. We're going to call it ball. No major conflict. So ball it is. All right, so complete the ball. Helper utility. So that means it's going to have ball is going to have the thing to create the symlinks. Which the other thing is that Bond can also be embedded. So if you want to embed Bond into your multi-call, you can embed it and then you can have it rather than having it be a standalone. But that's like, it's going to do everything, right? So what will it do? Right? So let's see. Let's see. The first version of Bond should actually add Bond init. So what that does is that'll initialize a new repo. It'll like make a new one. So like when you do go mod init, or when you do what is the Cobra command for generating a new one? Cobra CLI. Cobra CLI has one. What is the Cobra CLI command to start a new command? You start with Cobra multi-level. Did somebody just post this? They saw my video and I made it. I bet they did. I made a video about this exact thing. This was last year. Okay, good. I'm going to need to post to dev.2. I'm going to need to post to dev.2 even though I fucking hate it over there. I'm going to still using Cobra and Golang is a great choice. Instant commands can help organize the structure. Cobra init, your app CLI name. God, it's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. I'm so glad we're doing this. Okay. Bone init. Usage. We need to we need to decide whether we're going to use a standard usage. There's actually several types of standard usage. Standard usage syntax. So there's a standard form of relationship help text. Yes, there is. In general, the document does not prefer syntax dash question mark dash help dash version. There is a standard parsable one. How you doing? How to write usage statement. The question is whether to use the bracketed notation or the traditional man page notation. So man page notation, if it takes an argument, it usually keeps it lowercase. Sometimes they don't, though. They're all different. So that would be... Anyway. We need to figure out what standard usage use. Also, we need to decide if we're going to put the short... we're going to allow... I think I know the answer to this already. So I think what we want to do is I think we want to allow the use of I was thinking about multi-call. I think we want to actually let I keep stopping myself. I'm sorry. I think we probably want to let in instead of just usage, we want to have a summary here for those people who want it, but that should be optional. So I'm going to put it there. The summary is like a one-line summary. We could call it a tagline or something. The summary is filled. If we do a summary case, so for minimal when doc fs overkill. We don't want to face people to do this. You love the screen keys now? Nice. I think we do want a usage and a summary. This is the minimum that you need for all things. Such is base to true if you have a version. I don't even know if we need is base anymore. I don't know if I'm going to leave that code in. In case the command can be used independently, cut from the main branch, so to speak. Any base command is a candidate for use as a multi-call. Copy link when creating multi-call binaries. Base commands usually have... I'm not doing this check anymore. So the only thing we're checking right now is whether the command itself has a top-level command that matches the name. So we don't really need this. Base commands usually have subcommands under parameters, but are not necessarily required to. This is just helping you. Is branch. Branch is a command that returns false for his base, but has more commands or subcommands under it. So the reason for this would be if you were evaluating a command and you wanted to know about the command. I think I'm going to leave these here. This is like, so if people want to do dynamic command organization, they want to make commands that actually dynamically help them navigate or look at stuff, then these things will help with that, but they're not really useful. Any base command is a candidate for use as a multi-call copy link when creating multi-call binaries. Base commands usually have subcommands under parameters, but are not necessarily required to. Is base returns false is base. So version is really the thing that makes it into a base command. I'm not checking anything for existing commands, though. We've come up with a fix for that. This to be doing it at the high level. This is this entire thing is to make commands. I already did that. I just did it. Just showed it. If you don't know what Bonzai is, you kind of got to get up to speed on what command. It's like Cobra. It's for making command line tools, making it easier. Isleaf is a thing. So if there's no isleaf and the command is there are no commands under it, document or do not count. Leafs may have optional params, doc command or var command. So leaf commands are just commands that exist on their own. They don't do anything else. And a command can be both a leaf and a base. I don't even know if we need to like do this. I don't want to muddy this water at all. I used to think that base commands were the only ones necessary to be were the only candidates for being base commands. Is there ever a time when we would want multi-call? Actually, no. We could do that by checking for hidden ones. The bond command, when it creates links, it's going to iterate through all the commands and say all the commands that are base commands are the ones that should have commands made for them. If it's not a base command, don't do it. This is okay. We need this then. We're going to need to iterate through that. Bonzai did it. So this is important. So if it's a branch, if it's a base command, then okay. So this is super important because we are going to iterate through the tree of commands. We're going to descend through we're going to walk the tree of commands, and we're only going to create symbolic links for those that are base commands. If they're not a base command, they don't get created. And that is super important. So actually, I'm so glad I added this. I was about to delete it. I'm really glad we didn't. Okay, so what else? All right, so we need to add vars. Minimal when docket best is overkill. So I do think we're going to have a summary. We do need to have ability for people. I'm going to be I'm going to be writing scripts. I'm going to be writing commands as fast as I write shell scripts. And they're going to be automatically recompiled into my bonsai, and they're going to be automatically committed to my tree. That's going to be a thing. That's going to be the future. The future is I'm going to go into my dot files. I'm going to add a script as a command really quick, boom, 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 and it's immediately going to recompile, update, auto update, and push to GitHub, including creating my own release. So anybody who wants a copy of my dot files, my monolith, my home kit, will have it. They can just get it anytime, the whole thing, and they just can have the command, and they can do every single thing that I can do with my exact command, including any subcommands that I've embedded into it. So this is the future. I think it's the future. Period. I don't think it's just the future of what I want to do. So yeah. All right. So sets is base to true. This is important. Okay, so usage. We need to figure out the standard usage, and there is actually a standard usage specification, and I can't remember it. I wonder if it's in my Zet. Subsys what? Inferred completion from usage is idiotic. I agree. I'm not done help tests. Are Our code uses no one can change it based on language. And when you're stuck with the usage keyword. I completely agree with that as well. Usage is always in English. The summaries are always in English. That's just going to be the way it is. I'm sorry. Metacross says I know for sure. Actually, so the summary here can be overridden. This is just the default summary. This could be overridden by a docfs file if you wanted to. Eventually, when you have a docfs file, then you can remove the summary. You don't need it anymore. You can just get rid of it and use the docfs file. So that's going to be the workflow there. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Okay, so here we go. You should say foo command. Yes. There's a bunch. There's a standard usage. Is there a standard? Usage format. They've made one. They finally made one so that it could be reliably depended on. You see how they do uppercase? Options flags for short options, 2 hyphens for long. Required optional arguments to command line mistake. These are usually file names directories. Info standard usage help output. This is so stupid. This is so fucking stupid. I'm so glad we're not doing that. Components of the standard usage line. Arguments. You see how they have the bracket to make it say it's optional? You see the whole thing, the use of triple dot and everything? That there is a standard for that. And we need to document it. So we need to put that in the PR. Where's the PR? Did I close already? Let's see. Document standard usage. So we should probably put that in. We want Bonzai commands to follow a typical vet/lint with bon. So bon vet. So bon vet file. So bon init name. Anyway. So do we want to have it make a GitHub repo and all that? Kind of depends. Bon init by default should be interactive. Interactive CMD creator. So if we do init, you know, it's funny is you could actually make the documentation first and then run bon init on it and use it to create the command. Yep, you could do that. if you wanted to. You could actually use the MIME headers from the documentation. The key value pair, sorry, the front matter. A lot of the other stuff though is going to be saved. So the really great thing about this is that I can cache responses on the first interactive attempt, and then we can go ahead and do it. We don't have to. They can just push enter, so you don't have to do it every time. It's so cool. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to show you that. So add bond link. Bond multi. So if you put bond inside of a monolith, it will inspect the monolith so that it can do things with it. So if it's not inside of it, then it'd have to ask you a bunch of things. So you can do this. You could say zbond multi symlink. So that by default is going to automatically create symlinks in the current directory to its command, to itself, to the Z command. So multi symlink. Yeah. Z hard link. To walk off where all is base. And then yeah. Creating zbond, creating dash symlinks and current. All right, so zbond hard link for hard link instead. So we're gonna add the symlinks are so freaking cool. They really are. I love that we get to show how this works. Add zbond multi clear to clear all links delete, or I could do delete or rm. Um, to clear all links. So this is only in the current directory. I had considered putting this all into .local bin by default, which is not, that is not an XDG thing. I don't think XDG is a thing. Does XDG user is tilde dot local bin standard place to put binaries. I gotta be back in a second. All right. Check 1, 2, check, check. How many years have I been programming? God. It's 12 years old. 11. Since I was 11. So. What is that? 46 years? Smoothie break. Need some energy. All right. right. I am going to try to do this in sprints. Hey, Rez. Or in pomo sessions or something, because yesterday I did not get up and it just destroyed my body. So, like, you can't code for 12 hours straight. It's not good for you. I did it 2 days in a row. So, it's starting to take a toll on my body. You cannot code. This is the thing. If you had a job where you had to code 24/7 or 8 hours a day, you would die. You can't type as fast to maximum capacity for 8 hours. It's super bad on your body. And I'm starting to really feel it. I've had 4 days now, 4 or 5 days of really intense programming. And I get like this when I have like a deadline or something I need to get done. And then I think I can come back every now and then, take a break and beat on it. Yep, that's probably a good idea. And I used to go outside. The problem is I get obsessed. I'm an obsessive guy. I do yoga. I have my yoga set up there. I've got stuff in my room that's killed my yoga. I was doing yoga every morning. I haven't done yoga in like a week and a half, 2 weeks now. I haven't done anything physical at all. I've gotten up, got my food, and sat down and written code for 12 hours, 14 hours straight. And I love going outside. The thing of it is you need to force yourself to break the habit. Um, but the downside of that is you lose your concentration. So the thing that you've been working on, you lose your concentration. So it's actually a really dangerous loop to get in, because you start that's how I got really, really out of shape. If you go look at my old videos, it was back when I was doing the first version of Bonzai and Peg and the Twitch bot and everything else that I did. And then you eventually get so sick that you just throw everything out in the air and you say, I'm never coding again. Obviously, balance is the answer, but it's easy to say. It's just hard. It's really hard to do. If you're a good programmer or you have something you want to make and you're obsessed with it, it's like you're a creative. It's really what it is. You're being a creative. My wife talks about this. This is what keeps her in the studio and for 24/7 while she's working on a sculpture. She's got to get that thing out. And so yeah. So what I did is either all coding or no coding, right? And that's not good. That's not good for anybody. Uh, delete all links. I think we probably should have it. I need to do some things. Some other notes here. Creation of links should be in same directory as the binary itself. Well, yeah. This is I'm still using it. This is just using this isn't using NeoVim right now because I'm in a PR and it's using Vim, because you can't tell it's using my editor setting. Totally different thing. It doesn't see my VI alias. I just got to keep putting things in here. I can probably do a comment on that. Markdown setup, yeah. All right, so exit that. We added a summary here. Okay, so we need to add bar support, which is next. When assign triggers appending bars to the commands and calling bars often. It's important that we put there it's appending bars, so bars will not take over as a default thing. When you have docs, however, they will become the default. I think we should actually have it so that if summary is set, it triggers the inclusion of the docs. if any of these are set actually, because there's no way else to see them without it. Um, filled with well, we don't know if they are filled actually. Um, I do think the DocFS should take over this stuff. Yeah. I think we need to do this. All right, so these are documentation things. These are language specific things, and they need to be overridden. A lot of times when you're making the command, you don't want all the other stuff. You just want a minimal amount of stuff. Even this is a little bit too much to put. Um, so so the document injection becomes the default, and the only way to get around that is to explicitly do it. Ascending tree of delegate commands. You can include the doc command, but you'd have to put it in a different place explicitly. Otherwise, it's always a default in the front. Um, that they have no way of reading it. It's not about injecting usage, and if you have usage, it injects a usage command, which is just a one-line thing. There's like a mixed feelings about whether you want to do usage or help. I think we should have a doc, even if it's a small doc. All right, so that's all good. That's not what I was doing this for, but you know what? We might be able to add the help pretty quickly. Yeah. The help thing has already been written, so it's just a minor tweak to add that. Vars has to be rethought a little bit. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and add that. Make sure I didn't break anything. All right, so there's no doc there. And If it is there, we need to include it. Okay, so let's actually carve out a spot for the doc command. Here it is, doc command. And that's it. We're just going to have it be just doc. Doesn't have a version or anything. And let's do the triggering right now. So in order to test that, let's go change core. Core commands, bon, cmd.go. So let's put this in here. Let's change this to be let's give something usage. So this has version, so yeah, let's also give it a usage. I mean, usage can kind of be, actually, usage can be implied. We have a whole thing that actually sets usage by default if it's not on there. This would only be if you wanted to not use the default usage. Okay, so we'll say summary then. Summary is manage bonsai trees. Composite so all right, so there we go. So that should trigger the inclusion of the doc library automatically. We need to figure out how to do that. It has to be in run. Actually, no, that has to be in a init. There is no such thing as an init. That might be hard, actually. The dynamic inclusion of compile time directives is hard. It's actually not hard, it's impossible. It's impossible. So the advantage of that is you'll always know there's a doc. Every single command will always be visible in its declaration. There's no magic going on. This is annoying. So there's no way to do that. We'd have to. It would be a runtime. A runtime inclusion. Actually, we can do that. We just have to. It's already defined. It's already predefined. It's already in the same namespace. It's compiled in because it's already compiled into the program. So all we have to do is add it to the list. Okay, never mind. Take it back. Because it's already in the top level. Otherwise, that wouldn't be a thing. It's already compiled in. There's no way to escape that being compiled in. So, because it's there. So let's do this. Let's just see command. I go. We need, but where do you inject it is the thing. So when the program starts up, it would have to be when the main program starts. The problem with that is by the time no, never mind. We can do that. We have to go in the run thing. Run is the first thing that does anything. So there we have trap palette and value name. So yeah, with name checking here. All right, so this is where it goes. Popularized by busy box alpine multi-cut binaries, a single executable that behaves differently. The binary to the name, or linking symbolic or hard. All Bonzai compiled binaries automatically behave as multi-cut binaries, provided the name of the actual binary or link matches the name of the root command that returns here for the base. Name of the root. You know what? I just realized we have to make multi-call see the dashes. Yeah. We have to fix that. Fuck. We have two things going on. I just realized that the multi-call doesn't see the dashes right now. How do we do that? We have to change the multi-call stuff. I have to do that right now while I'm still on my mind. I know it's in the run. There it is. What we want to do is track it. Haley Frey. This is, we need to okay, so we need to say if the name has a dash in it. Yeah, let's do it up here. It's kind of a quick thing. It doesn't take too long. But we need to say, I mean, we need to get the name, so we need to get the link name. All right, so this part is hard. We need for this part we need to translate the current command into a path, and then we need to replace the path with dashes. We already have commands for that, and we need to compare that to the dashed command name. So first of all, if it has a dash, so if the name does not equal the X name. Okay, so all right, so if the name does not equal it, so okay, so the name is different than the command name. So we can say if the name has dashes in it, if it even has one dash in it, and that's the standard. So as it contains, what is it? Well, contains. It is contains. If the strings contains, if the name contains even a single dash, then we're going to do dashed. If it has a dash, Gerber Mates, nice. Yeah, I've heard they're good. I haven't tried it. Headset. What far is on a VR headset? No, I do not know. So if there's a dash, then we assume that you know, it's gonna be something else. So it's gonna be like it'd be like Z dash bon dash dash multi, right? Z dash multi symlink. That would be a way to do it. That's an example of what we would create. Simple. The example here would be just bon, right? Okay, so this actually is probably going to be easier than I thought. All right, so we just need to say we need to get the path of the current name. So we already have the path, but what we need is the dashed path. We need the dash path to get the dash path dash. So we already have path, right? Path commands, path names, and I just have to find that. We already have this somewhere. All right, so the root path commands. Returns the path of commands used to arrive at this command. The path is determined by walking backward from the current caller up rather than depending on anything from the command line. So this goes up and it gives you all of the items. Path names returns a path of command names used to arrive at this command. The path is determined by walking backward up. Okay. This is the names though, not the commands themselves. We actually don't need the commands, we just need the names. And then there's another thing called just the path. So returns a dotted notation of the path names, including an initial dot for root. This is useful for associating configuration of other specific data with the command. So this is what we want. What we want though is we want the path. We want this, but we want path dashed. Makes workflow filtering is nice, right? Most of the plugins now. That is very great. Can I quote you on that? Can I quote you on that? I'm gonna quote you. I'm gonna put you in my nice things file. Docs, nice. You're going in my nice things file. I need to fix this so bad. Yeah, this is all one line. Definitely not ready. Wait, what? Why isn't it working? That's weird. Yeah, I do believe that. I think they should know that too. It's kind of fast said that they don't, right? Okay, that's automatically published. So path returns dotted file name. All right, so we need func x path dashed and we already have this. Thank God I have this code already. I mean, it would be such a pain in the ass if I didn't. Path dash path. I mean, you want to say hyphen, I guess, instead of dot. We call it hyphen or dash. Hyphenated. All right, so super easy. You just have to return the path. Equals x dot path. Same thing. So path. Now we just get rid of the path. That's specify bash path. They constantly write binls, user binls. Bash path, I don't know. Because they're idiots. And because they're on Macs like me. And they can't, that's the only way to use it. The only way to write a script that works everywhere. This is the reason, one of the reasons I'm getting rid of shell scripts. That's actually one of the primary motivators. I'm actually going to put that in the README. Actually, let's just do a Z on this. HomeKit. How you doing, Fergentman? I absolutely hate user bin env whatever. Yet this is the only way to get anything done. To get anything, any interpreted script to work on everything. Thanks, Apple. It's also extremely insecure. There was a time when such things were not allowed on Unix systems because of path injection attacks. We used to have to, remember when we used to have to define a path, our path in the script to be safe? Tainting environment variables, yeah. Exactly. Guess what? None of that is relevant with a HomeKit, home/rootkit monolith approach that Bonzai facilitates. Even more reason to use it. If you make it binary, that all goes away. If we make it as easy to make a binary that has all your favorite little scripty things in it, people will stop doing these like conglomerates of shell scripting shit. This is potentially, I know it's a small thing and then not a lot of people know about it. There's only 20 or 30, 40 people here now. But I promise you, if this keeps going down this trajectory and I can get the momentum and I can get the interviews on YouTube and I can get the convention stuff and I can actually show that it works and we can get some weight behind this, we're going to completely reform the entire approach for dot files. And for enterprise too, yeah. So, you know, that people have big arguments about which symlinker tool to use, whether you should symlink to your scripts and your dot files, whether you should blah, 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 blah. Whether you should use env, all of that stuff is irrelevant if you follow a statically compiled binary approach. And you could do that in any language where you could write static compiled binaries quickly, but by far the easiest, the Python of statically compiled languages is clearly Go. It's clearly Go. There's nothing even close to it. It's the simplest, it's the fastest to write in, And those are criteria that are on the top of the requirement list when you're looking for a language you want to replace your shell scripts with, whether they're Python, Shell, Perl, Ruby, whatever. The top of the list is how fast can I write my code in? And Rust is at the fucking bottom. So Rust has a good purpose for certain things, but that is not it. It is not to replace your shell scripts. Replacing your shell scripts in Rust is like, you'd have to like really hate yourself. It's like, that's why Perl got so popular, because it was faster to write than C during the web days when CGI became a thing. That's why Go is so perfect for it. How you doing, Dale? Delvirog. Delvirog. How do I say that? Path equals path. Replaced strings dot replace. Oh, there we go. Strings dot replace with something. What's the syntax? Oh wait, it did it automatically. All right, so not enough arguments to string replace. That I know. The first one is old string, new string, and 0. Replace strings, copy this. Or just copy the string S in the first N overlapping instance, replace. Fill this empty, it matches the string at the string, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all right, that's the one. So replace path. We want the first thing, which is... Actually, no, we just need to truncate it. Yeah, this is actually really easy. We just need to replace it with 1 colon. There we go. Bonzai. Is there anything to go? Oh, please have them come in. Did you see the comment from the person who made an eBPF vulnerability and put it in Go? They're like, they can't say enough about it. They're like, the Bonzai in 2021, they saw there was an article in Wired magazine, I think it was, that there was a 4,000% increase in Go malware. In fact, it was such a big deal because it's so easy to write malware in Go that Rob Pike actually made an official statement saying, please stop writing malware in Go. But nobody stopped because Rob Pike's actually... I'm not trying to facilitate malware. I'm just trying to facilitate fast software development. It just so happens that malware is real key for that kind of thing. That's where people like writing stuff. Hackers fucking love Go. They love it because it's easy to learn. They can write stuff really quick. It comes with built-in credential management. You know, the equivalent of GPG comes with built-in server. HTTP server, high-performing HTTP server. I mean, it has everything you could ever want as a hacker. It's such a batteries included language. And now it's even going to be more so. So anyway, path dash. Multicolored binary. Keep needing to find the other one. There it is. To get the path. All right, so let's do this. Let's log. Let's go ahead and log it. Return. Let's just go ahead and log it for now. Print line, and we're going to log. I just want to log what the name would be. So we do x dot path dash. Path with dashes. That's kind of long. What? I'm already on NeoVim. I've been NeoVim for a while. Technically I don't. Migrating to NeoVim is the wrong way to say it. I use NeoVim on my Mac. I use Vim everywhere else. That's not migrating. That's just using it, if I have it. That's not a migrating. It's not like one or the other. It's like you use the tool. It wasn't until I discovered BimRC could be run everywhere and still be compatible with NeoVim and figured out a way to do that where my BimRC is not corrupted that I even considered it. And I found that out the other day. So I'll do lots of videos about that later. Yeah, path dash. I really like readable code. So, what's funny is so many people that don't speak English write code, and then you have to deal with it. It makes it very hard. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go compile this. Install ball, tab. All right, let's change the name ball. Let's make a symlink. Make a symlink here to some other. Wait, let's make it to Bonfu. Bonfu. Oh, okay, it didn't do it. It didn't do it for some reason. I wonder why. It didn't print it. Because we didn't return it? Oh, with the path. Oh. Oh, because I didn't call it. What is this more about? The length of more is greater than 0. Then the list path names. Oh, that stuff gets added on. List dot is rather a list of path names. Append it. Extra path names. Join strings. Okay. Return dot plus strings plus join x dot path names. I don't think path names is working right now. Okay, so we want path with dashes. Oh, let's print x dot path names. No path names. That's weird. Is it because... No, there is no path names. It doesn't... It's because it doesn't have a caller. It doesn't have a caller at all. Oh, shit. You know what this means? I'm going to have to descend. I'm going to have to do the opposite. I'm going to have to walk down the command tree. Oh, God. That's a lot harder. So, we're going to have to do a seek. No, we're going to have to walk it. We're going to have to walk it. Go walk down. We're going to have a descend, yeah. Fuck. We need a command for this. Yeah, because there's never going to be a path name here. So this is going to be... Okay. We need to figure out what they call this. It's not path names with dashes. That's nice, but we don't really need that. What we need is... I mean, that's... We need the opposite of this. We need to take a dashed file name and resolve it. I think resolve does that already. Resolve looks up a given command by name or alias from aliases. No, we need to descend down through it, yeah. We need a go-to. Yeah, we need like a go-to. We need to go to, or we could do, we could make the run command take, We could make the run command take an optional argument and then have it take where it's at and then go under that and find it. That might be the way to do this. You see what I'm saying? So if there's an argument, then just send it down into it from here, because this command knows about it, right? I think we're gonna do that. That would be, it doesn't have to be, it's either gonna run or it's gonna run that, and then it'll run the thing under it. That's the most intuitive. It's the most intuitive. Now, assuming you can't, the thing that's great about that is that can actually go in the call. Oh my God, yes, we totally want this. Okay, so, but for this, we want to have, we want it to be, we're going to try to decide whether we want it to be dotted notation, dash notation, or the actual path names for underneath it. No, we want it to either be dotted notation or dash notation. I actually think we want it to be dash notation. The dotted notation works in properties files, but we probably want it to be dashed. We want to say args. And we're going to say it takes an optional argument. Okay, so the thing of it, that we just need to do that delegation right away. So if and then down here, what we can do is we can actually construct the argument string and then call ourself again with that. Yeah, recursively. Okay, that's going to do it. Okay, so then we say is valid name no. We don't need that at all. We need to just do this right here. So we just say if args, if the length of args is greater than 0, then we need to resolve that. We need to look up. We could say look up. It's probably, how do you look up something underneath? I guess we could call it look up. Look up. I don't know. Subcommand. We could say C equals x dot lookup args1, args0. All right, so and then if C, actually, if the length is 0, if C lookup C does not equal nil, return return C dot, wait, C dot run. And which actually should exit. That should exit the program. If it doesn't, you know, so C dot run, and then that's without no arguments. So without any arguments. X lookup undefined. Okay, so let's make lookup. Lookup is the thing that has to do the descent. So function x cmd. Now this is actually not that hard, but we haven't done it so far. We have a thing called seek, But that looks for the exact name, and then it is positioning the command line. It's a totally different thing. So look up. What's it going to do? So look up dash string returns a CMD reference. Return nil. Okay, so lookup returns descends recursively. Let's see, parses dash into a slice of names and looks for each until it finds a full match underneath and looks for each until it finds a full match beginning with its own calling can on each for each until calling can on each and returning nil if can if not found. I mean, it's kind of intuitive. I don't know. So the first thing we do is we take the first one and then we look up each one. Actually, we should probably make a lookup that has can returns a reference, so we can take that one and then use that one and then keep going. So we could do a recursive lookup here, and just keep calling. This recursive function calling is probably a good thing here. So I'm actually going to say I'm going to do one that does not take a dash string. You know what? We could. That's. Right now, can takes a single argument. I can make. We need can. We need we can just keep calling can recursively. So actually, we can detect in can if there's a dash in the name and just reuse the same function. Fuck yeah. Let's do that. Look up can arg0. So, okay. If the length of args is greater than 0, actually, if the length of args equals 1, then we can just do the, okay, so what does can take right now? I think can takes a single argument. If we made can take a legit multiple arguments, it would be better. If the length of arguments is greater than 0, we can just return can. Shit, this is like, yeah, we can say can args And then we can put the dash parsing into that. All right, so if the length of arguments is 1 and it has a dash in it, then we're going to break it out. All right, if the length of arguments is greater than 0. So if the can argument, so can args, all right, so if the length of arguments is greater than 0, I'll do ln. If the if ln equals 0 equals 1, and strings, this is going to be so cool. I can't wait to have this working. And the string contains dashes. Args 0 contains a dash of any kind. Then we're going to split it. Then we're going to say args equals split split args 0 on dash, and then we're always calling args with the multi-call. So then we just need to revise can, and then can could just be recursive at that point. Oh my god, this is so cool. My glasses are so fucked up. I hate it. I wish they did not do that. Can. I get excited when I do this stuff. I am like legitimately excited right now. Can returns command from commands of the command name or any command alias this is passed. If more than one argument is passed recursively, calls itself recursively on each item in the list, unshifting. Okay, so we can change this to args. We could say names, I guess. Names. And that's it. So command aliases. So if there's more than one name, so we need to shift off the first name. I wish we could use QStack here. I probably will use a QStack here because I can just do an unshift and it'd be way more performant. I mean, I already have a slice, so I guess we're fine. So then we could say, a slice has already been allocated, and memory's already been allocated, never mind, so that's fine. So if we do, slices are logical constructs on top of arrays and Go. It's very unique. So what? So we say name equals name equals names. Well, if the length of names equals 0. Return nil. Actually, if the length of names, well, we don't want to do an assignment because we'll get a null pointer if we do that. So we have to check. The length of names equals 0. Return nil. Can we put that on its own line now? Damn. That's a new thing. It didn't used to allow that. Name equals names 0. Names, this is a pop operation, or I'm sorry, an unshift. Is it shift or unshift? It's shift, duh. Okay, so names equals names 1 colon. Now, the problem with this is that if, you know, actually let's do a switch. Switch on the length of names. Yep, and then we'll case 0, return nil. Case 1, name equals names 0. Var name string. Case defaults is more than that, so default is the name equals the first one. Actually, we could fall through, and then the names is we trim the names off. The reason for that is because later belong we're going to use it to declare but not used. Yeah, there we go. And then down here we're gonna if okay, if it has the aliases map, okay, so this function right here needs to be broken out into something else. We probably need to make a lowercase can privatize one. You can have both. So this is the original function. It takes a single name and returns a command. All right, so that's the original one, but that's kind of a helper function, so we don't need to do anything with that. Anyway, so then we can call it. So we can say we can have a loop. So we can say name. So you could have C equals what? C equals x dot can x dot can name. Can it name? Okay, so and if it can, all right, so if C does not equal nil, and wait, we can short circuit. So if the length of names is 0, then we're done, right? If the length of names is equals 0, return C. Otherwise, call it on itself. And because this is a return, since we can short circuit here, then we can return down here, instead of returning nil, we could return call it on itself. So we can return x.can on names, and that will truncate it. Not truncate it, it'll whatever. So What's the truncated in the beginning? What is that called? Uh, can names there. So this is going to recursively call can until it doesn't have any more names to call. And it will return nil on that. And the thing about this is cool is that the logic for looking up all the commands and aliases is already covered. So that should work actually. And we can actually probably write an individual unit test for that. It might be wise to do that. Make sure I didn't make a problem here. Invalid name alias detected B. Oh, right. That was my invalid check comp. My comp test is, wait. MD test. B. Yeah, you can't have a B. Bar. Bar. Reb. Oh shit. That is not good. Yeah, it's a recursive descent error. That's probably because of the stuff we put in. We can get rid of that. Let's go try to get rid of that really quick. That's infinite recursion, which is super easy to do on accident and dangerous. So, yeah, we're going to get rid of this code for a bit just to make sure everything is good. If strings contains dash, I think we're actually going to bypass this one. Yeah, the return there, that was what was killing it. I think that might have been it. That was killing it. Oh, here we go. Simple bond. This whole thing has to change. So, all right, I'll be back in a second. All right, I hope that we can get through this fast. I know it can work. It's just I'm breaking too many things at once here. I have a feeling. Well, let's see if we can even compile. Yeah, recursion. So completion broke. How do we break completion? We broke completion somehow. What changed? I think the call to can is doing the recursion when it shouldn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Yeah, we broke can. Okay, so the can's doing the infinite recursion. Length of names is 0. Oh, right. So instead of returning nil for 1, if it's 1, then okay, this is an easy fix. Thank God. Thank God. Can. So if it's the length is 0, we return nil. If the length is 1, we return x dot can names 0. And we don't parse it or anything. Defaults. If it's anything else, then actually let's just get rid of defaults. We could say the name and this. We could say, all right, so the names equals the name, and then we shift the name off. We should only shift the name off though if there's more names left. We really don't need. Actually, no, that won't work if there's not, if the length is not there. So if the names, I can't even refer to it like that. So this is if it's actually if it's 2. If the case is 2, it's a very special case. So if it's 2, then names equals names 0. And actually, okay, so at this point, it's going to be 2 or more, so we're safe. Okay, never mind. So we're safe. So we can actually guarantee that we're going to have a 1 colon. It might only be 1 item, but we can still do that no matter what. So, all right, then we can do can name. And then if the length, wait. If the length of the names is greater, otherwise return C. Actually, let's do that instead. If the length of the names is greater than 1, right? Well, we know it's going to be. Actually is greater than 0. That means we have another one under there still to deal with. Okay, so return x dot can return names. We're going to keep recursively returning names. And otherwise, we're just going to return C. That's it. A little bit easier to read. That might fix it. I doubt it, though. We'll see. Yeah, that fixed it. Okay. Yep, we're back. All right, that was the bug. Should we write a unit test for can? Probably should. So but I don't want to. So yeah, we still need the parsing thing in run, so run. All right. So if the length of the arguments, so this was not the error. That's good to know. So if the arguments is greater than 0, we only need to look at the length once. You can probably do a switch here. I like switches. Let's do that instead. Switch case 0. If it's 0, we don't need to do any of this. If there's no arguments, we just break. Nah. No, this is fine. I don't like that, but it's easier to read. What time is it? Is it noon yet? Shit. Okay. Under arg's length. If arg's length, oops. If arg's length is greater than 0 and the arg's length equals 1, if the arg's length is 1 and the first string contains the dash, then when you're doing data notation, go ahead and split it and reset the args. And then this can stuff is still the same. So this is going to give us our delegation. So if the can returns non-nil, then run that and be done with it. We don't need to go anywhere. This is delegation. So deal with, let's give it an example. So run, either way, yeah. So optional arguments pointing to subcommands subcommand optional arguments. If any argument is detected, it is delegation to that subcommand is attempted. Delegation through if only one argument if only one argument and that argument contains a dash, it is assumed to be a path dash with dashes, and is parsed and is expanded the args list is expanded appropriately. Match. If more than one argument, each argument is assumed to be a name or alias from aliases, and so on. C can for details. If only one argument is passed and that argument contains a dash, it is assumed to be a path with dashes and is parsed and expanded. Parsed and is split and expanded into a new args list. As if every field were passed as separate strings instead. As a convenience, if only one argument is passed, that argument could path with dashes. All right, I think this is working. All right, so this is so cool because this means that I can actually, I don't have to create separate main files and import everything. I can create multiple commands that do different things by just pointing to the different thing that's within a single library. This is really cool. And I'll show you what it's going to end up meaning. So it's going to mean that I'm going to be able to do this. So right now, main run is like this, right? But let's say I don't want that command from Bon. Let's say I want to import Bon because that's the command tree, that's the monolith binary, and I don't want to individually. How you doing, Minerva Cell? And now I could just import the sub ones, right? I could say Bon, whatever, and I could just import that and do that command.run. That is also doable, but this is another option. It's a little bit slower, but not much. It's like nanoseconds slower. So I could actually say, I want to run Bon, but I don't want to run Bon. I want to run from this point on. I want to run Bon. I don't know, Bon, foo, like, wet or whatever, or foo thing. And that would actually delegate it automatically. That's gonna make it so much easier to do multi-call too. So this is really big. I really am happy about this. We gotta get this to compile, of course, and then that might be good enough for me today. Tab. All right. So what did that actually do for us? That we still got the normal stuff, but that now you see how it says Bon Foo? That should actually work. It did work. No, wait, it said hello from bar. Okay, so the multi-call still isn't picking it up. But that's okay, because the multi-call is going to look for the dash and then call itself with the dash option, instead of assuming that the name is the same. Okay, so now I can fix the multi-call problem really easily. It's not a problem, but now the multi-call becomes like ridiculously easy because I just have to detect the name. So if the name, so if we're in a multi-call environment, that means the name doesn't match the binary. Then we check and we say, okay, I've got long dash multi-call of some kind. If the string contains a dash, we have a long form, right? Actually, I don't even need to do that. I don't even need to do that. I can just say can name, and since it already knows to parse dash names automatically, actually it doesn't. So all I have to do here is parse the name. Okay. So I just have to parse the name. Yep. So, and then this becomes, instead of can name, we can actually make it names. So if it contains dashes, then we want to say args equals, and this is where we do the split. Actually, I just have to call run on myself. What? That can't be that easy. That cannot be that easy. It is. Oh my God, this cannot be that easy. It is because of the delegation. Yeah, amen to style. So let's do, that's insane. Because when we ran it, the first time it was run, it didn't detect. Okay, so we only want to do this if we have multi-call support. Yeah, because the command name itself is never going to have dashes in it. Okay, that's only going to be the binary name. All right, so here we go. So this is crazy. We just do x dot run to do the delegation. Yeah. It cannot be that easy. Oh my God, it did. It worked. It worked. Oh God, it worked. It totally worked. It totally worked. It saw the dash in the name and it redelegated to foo. Holy cow, that was crazy easy. I love it. Oh my God, that's just so crazy cool. It's just so simple. I love it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah. You know what? I don't even think I need this. I don't think I need this other one here. Because the can gets called automatically. Oh no, I do. Because if it doesn't have a dash, it's gonna drop through and it's gonna get to that point. And then that's where it actually gets called the second time around. You effed? Are you effing? I'm sorry you're effing. I'm still pushing 5,000 kilobits per second. So anyway, this is amazing. I cannot even stand it. So subcommand optional arguments. If any argument is detected, delegation through recursive run calls to subcommands is attempted. Subcommands is attempted. In more than one argument, each argument is assumed to be a name or alias from aliases. I gotta check the queue. All right, so yeah. If any subcommand, so this is totally golden. In terms of like multi-call. Multi-call is like so golden because that means that I can actually generate an entire list of commands. Watch, let me show you. This is what I'm trying to show you, that I'm trying to get to the point where I can do multi-call generation. So there's Bonfu, right? Where's my symlink? I can make another symlink to bon bar. And actually, I can make it to any alias. So I can make it to bon something or whatever, and it will execute it. So I can do dot slash bon bar. And now bon bar doesn't have completion set. Actually, I wonder if completion would set would work. I bet it would. Holy cow! Then we have to just call completion for every command. Fuck. Okay, so complete dash c bon dash bar. Wait, has to be dot slash bon bar. Slash bon bar because it's not in the local bin, which it will be eventually. So dot bon bar tab. Oh, there's nothing under there. That's why it's doing it. But it's not doing file completion, which means it's working. So all right, so yeah, that's bon bar will actually run the bar, and bon foo will run foo automatically. And those things can be anywhere. Those symlinks can be anywhere on the system, and they will resolve to do the subcommands as needed. What we don't have yet is a third level, and that might be fun to add really quick. So if we add something like under one of these, if we added a bar, let's say bar also has a command in it. So commands, yeah. Wait, what? Oh, let's do that other one with foo and see if that completion works. Bon foo has completion, but we didn't do complete that shit C yet. Yeah, this does have completion for parameters. So this will show us the weekdays if it works. Bon foo tab. There we go. The really great thing about this is by using a multi-call binary, we don't need to provide completion at all. We don't. Once this is all in local, people can just do bon tab, and they'll get every single variation on that bon command. So whatever they end up naming their parent program will automatically be assumed to be the thing. So that's a big deal. That is a really big deal. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. People have to figure out what to name their top level commands, but they have control of that because they're making the monolith, so they can pick the name. That's not something that's ever going to have a naming conflict. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to have an entire suite of Z commands that I'll be able to type Z dash and it'll just populate. And I won't even have to. The thing that's so great about that is that I won't have to. I won't have to type. I can actually type Z dash tab instead of Z tab, Z space tab. I can type Z tab and get it, and then Z dash tab, Z dash or Z tab. So like this, right? So like bon tab dash tab. See, it's not doing it because it's not in the symlink. It's not in the directory. But if I did, it would work. Foo tab. This is gonna be so cool. I can't wait. I cannot wait. People are gonna love this. I love it. Even if they don't love it, I love it. So we already know what's gonna happen here. What we do need to know is if it's gonna delegate to the tertiary subroutine. So if, on this, if we give foo some commands, foo's got parameters. So let's give bar some commands. Having commands in a call is kind of weird because the call only happens if you don't pass any commands. But you can do that. So this is a bunch of Bonzai command references, and we can actually add another simple one. We could say other CMD, and we'll just copy one of these commands and make it other CMD. We're going to do something more substantial with this, I promise, eventually. We don't need aliases here. We could, though. We could say, I guess. No parameters, though. Hello from name. an exe path. So this is going to give me the name of the command. Okay, so that's actually now composed in. We composed it into the other one. That's how you do it. It's pretty easy, and it's compilation time. That's compile time composition. And unlike Cobra, I'm going to say that a million times. Cobra does runtime tree creation, and you get like 40, 50, 60 commands in there, which they have in some things. It's fucking crazy. It takes forever. So, this is way more performant. It's just a better design, period. I'm just going to say it. Install Bon. All right. So here's the thing. Now, if I create a symlink that is bon bar dash other, it should actually run it. So if I do bon bar other dash other, it should run. Oh God, that's not good. We had some sort of recursion happening there. I'm glad we did that. I think the recursion is actually more significant than that, though. Here, let's see if the actual bon command works. So bon tab. Whoops. Wait. Bon tab bar. Let's see if it's working. Oh, it is working. So that's something to do with our multicall. Okay. Well, we got a bug there. There's a bug there. Let's go figure it out. So it did get other right. You see that? It got other right. And O is a thing. So it says other is a thing. So bon bar other, and okay. So that's fine. The recursion is not working though. For some reason the multicall is not working. So bon bar dash other. I don't know why that's not working. That's got some sort of recursion going on. So let's go find that recursion. Once we fix that, we've got this completely golden, and I'll probably go check on some tickets and stuff at work and do a little bit of co-working. So yeah, let's go look at this. Wait, what? All right. So let's go to package again. So there's definitely something going on. So git add, I'm kind of afraid. So git commit first dash link multi-call working, still buggy. Whoop, dash m git push. All right, so now what? Now we're gonna have now let's go into CMV. Something about can is failing. So we need to figure out what that is. We're doing run, and it's because the arg length is greater than 1. So that's where the error is. The error is in can if we have more than 1. And I don't think it was a null pointer. I think it was a recursion. Let's go see. We should put trap panic back on. This is recursive. This is recursion. Yeah, this is like infinite recursion. Yeah. Okay, so that we have an infinite recursion happening there. That's the problem. So there's a condition where okay, so first of all here args length was args. So the args length here was 0. It goes all the way down here, and it sees the dash, and then it runs it with the dash. You know what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is that it didn't chop off the first name. That's the problem. It needs to chop off the first name in order for that to work. Right? Okay, so if the name does not agree, we see if there's dashes. If there's dashes, then we're going to look underneath the current program. And we're going to chop off that first name. Actually, the reason this didn't work is because we have two competing ideas happening. We have this, we have the idea where all of the commands of the multi-call begin with the same name, and we have the top level is the new name. So that would have worked if I had made it. This will work if I chop off the first dash name, Bon. It'll work. It'll find it. But that's the logic problem. So we need to make a decision here. So these are two very valid ways to do a multi-call. So the first way is there's kind of this assumption in multi-call that was there before that says if you're a multi-call, you are assumed to be the top level. But we're kind of throwing that assumption out if it has a dash in it. If it has a dash in it, then we're saying, oh, the main command actually is in the path. So ignore it. Or make sure it matches the exe. In that case, we want to make sure the first name matches the exe. And that's the check we need to do here. We need to say, if it has dashes, then the first, see here's Z bone, right? Then we need to chop off the first. Actually, if it has dashes, okay, so yeah, it's only if the file name has dashes. We still want to call run and then look at its under. We don't want to change what's going on with the run arguments if we pass an argument to run. What we do is we want to take bon off the front of it. That's what we want to do. And do that. That's why we're getting recursion, by the way, because the bon is still there. It keeps trying to call bon every time. It never stops. So that's okay. That's where the recursion is happening. So what we need to do is we need to guarantee. So to do ensure first. So to do split, we just need to split it. Let's just do it. So let's just say contains name. So let's see. If the name has a dash in it, then we want to strip the front of the name off. And this is, yeah. So we want to strip the front of the name off. And quite frankly, we can split it right here. Since we're already splitting it, we can just pass the split thing to run, and because run takes a split set of arguments if we want. So that's actually, let's do that. Let's say args equals, not args, but no, I guess args is fine. We can say, because it's localized, args equals name. We already did this, but we can say strings dot split name dash. All right, so that's all the args, and then we're going to pop it off, and then we're going to run it with args. Well, we know that it has a dash. That means there's at least two items. So then we can say 1: ... That should fix the recursion. We should also do a test to see if the first argument matches the name. If the first argument doesn't match the current name, then we need to decide what to do with that. Do we want to allow subcommands to be set up with dashed aliases? I don't think we do. I think we want, by convention, to not allow subcommands to have their own root levels. But we could say, you know, but I think it's a bad idea. I think, honestly, I think if we're going to do this symbolic linking thing, there should only be two ways to do it. We want to limit this because we don't want stuff to get out of control. Either you're going to use a single name and it's going to be at the root level. We already have the code for that. Or it's going to be a dashed name. And if it's a dashed name, it's going to include the core name at the beginning so that it can be sorted and it shows up with the actual command. The reason for that is so that when people do the actual command, they can do the actual command help or the actual command docs, and they can see all the other commands that are there. All those other commands will be also documented. But if we don't do that, then the tab completion that would happen through the file system will not include the root. It will not include the root command. So we have to ensure that the root command is the same as the prefix of any dashed symlink command, because it just follows that that would be the case, right? So if we don't have that, then there's no way they're going to be able to get help and stuff. But by doing that, we actually end up using the file system to do our completion on any target OS, which is fucking crazy awesome. So I cannot wait to show this. So this means dash options strings wing dash. Okay, so here we have I'm working on a command completer compositor. So here we have dash, we have z bottom. Let's say, okay, so we have to ensure that it works. So if the first argument does not match, then we have to throw an error. So if args0 does not equal the actual exe name, and this is actually really important. So exe name, then so if arg0 does not equal exe name, then we're going to throw an error. We're going to say we're going to have a very specific error. We can say multi-calls must begin with same name. Must begin with, let's say invalid name. We could say invalid. What do we want to say? Name arg0 name. Actually, we can put it there. We can say name does not equal exe name. Yeah. Yeah, and we could say invalid multi-call name. Yep. And name and then exe name. Okay, so run exit error, invalid multi-call, invalid multi-call name. So we got to put that in errors. Multi-call argument, not string. This doesn't, none of this is right. Multi-call command not found. No call, no commands. I wonder what those other things are going to do if we try to. I think it'll just fail. It'll just call the main binary. We actually have a bunch of other stuff there. No call, no commands. Not enough args, too many args. Wrong number of args. E. invalid multi-call, invalid multi-name equals, we have to decide if we're going to put error here or not. I feel like we don't need that. Sometimes it's nice. Invalid multi-call name. Okay, so the does not begin with V. All right, so that's the second V. So invalid name, we can copy these. What do we call it? Invalid multi-name. Name and expected want got. Wait, what? Invalid multi-name. Invalid multi-name. Invalid multi-name. Invalid multi-name. Invalid invalid exe name. I should do that instead. Multi-exe name. Invalid multi-exe name. Multi-exe name. Command not found. We need to delete all these. Wait. Wait. Missing var. All right, so do we fix everything? Let's compile it. I'm a little nervous. I always get nervous. I am only human. So I think this is gonna work. Bon. Okay, so first of all, does bon work? Yes. Does /bon -- bar work? Yes. Does bon foo work? Whoops. Yes. Does bon bar, this is a hard one, bon bar other. Fuck. It doesn't work. We still have that recursion issue. That's the last thing I have to fix before I like lose my mind. What is going on? Are we? It must be in the can. Okay, what? Let's do. I'm gonna have to do it. We have to write a unit test for the can program for the can routine. As soon as I write a unit test for it, I'm sure I'll find the problem. I don't want to though, so because it takes too much time and I have work to do. All right, so let's try this. I can't leave this until this is done, until this part's done, because then multi-call including dashed options will be totally golden. And that's like the biggest, this is the biggest piece of this whole thing. We were going to do var inclusion today. We'll do that next tomorrow. So, so yeah. Yep. What are we going to do here? We got to figure out where the bug is happening. I don't think it's here anymore. Wait. Exit error. Actually, let's see if it can. Let's trap that problem. Let's do another ln without bar at the front. Yeah. Let's do that. This should actually not work. This should blow up. With the error. Bar does not begin with bond. Yep. So that part works. So that part works, thank God. So I think we have another recursive error in the can, I was afraid. All right, so let's change this to Q. That'll give us some nice pretty quotes. Let's do that. This will give us pretty happy quotes. Bar does not begin with bong. Actually, that's wrong. So I'm glad we checked. We want to have it be the full name, not the truncated name. So it's saying bar does not begin with bond. We want it to be. This is after the name has already been truncated. So we want the original name before that. First, let's say first. If name does not equal exe name, then we can say name does not begin with there. That should be better. Bar other does not begin with bond. Okay. And then we could say I'm going to do another thing here. Got, and then we're going to do join e dot want what got. What is e, the first part? So here we can change, we can put got, we can put, does not begin with, got begin with got. Wait. Got does not begin with want. I got them backwards. I'm passing them in the wrong order. I am. Where is it? Invalid local name. Got. Want. Am I hallucinating? Got, want, strings, join. Want. Wait. I mean, got plus dash plus want. small thing, but right? Is that right? What the hell is happening? Oh. All right. All right. How do I have this so backwards? I definitely do. Um, we need to give good help here. So we want to say it should either be, we want this error to be the exact perfect error. Good error messages are so valuable. So we should say, the question is whether it matches the name. If it matches the name, it should either be the one or it should be the other. But that would only be if it was the first level. Um, Come on, Rob. I can go faster. Go faster, faster, faster. Bar other must begin with bomb bar other. Um, that's good enough. All right, we got the recursive thing, and we will be done. We can take a break. One last bug to go. I mean, for now, if we get multicol totally golden, yeah, okay. So, and then we can make containers out of this thing. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm going to use it for so many things. I'm going to use it for building really lightweight single binary containers that are like Alpine, that are better because they're going to have all the stuff from Alpine, but just the stuff that I want, and compiled into a binary. So they're super ultra light. Because we can make it so that when you exec into it, it actually runs the shell by default. Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. It's so cool. I mean, we're gonna be able to make the lightest containers you've ever seen in the universe, because the containers will be once this shell, the container will be a binary only container. I wish I could put into perspective for people who don't know what a big deal that is. These containers are going to be a fraction of the size of Alpine or BusyBox. Or if they, okay, so they're not going to be a fraction of the size. They're going to be about the same size, but they're going to have way more stuff in them. Normally, when you do Alpine, you have to do an apt install. You have to put all this stuff on there. We're going to have a single binary container, and people don't use binary containers at all because they're too. The whole entire point was supposed to be that we were going to make these like, these fruited kind of environments, these jails kind of thing, and it totally failed. It totally failed. Then they ended up getting bloated, and now we have people submitting 22 gigabyte containers as jobs for machine learning processing, model processing at work. That's what's happening. But for the people who want to use containers as God intended, which is, something that's a tiny little environment for a program to run, and that's what the containers were intended to be. Bonzai is a fucking godsend for that. This multi-call binary, because now what you can do is you can compile in all the functionality into your container, including a minimal REPL shell, not a big ass shell, a minimal REPL shell, right? You can compile in a minimal REPL shell, and then when you Podman or Docker exe into it with IT, it'll fire off the program, which is the root, and it won't run bash or whatever. It's going to run the default program. It'll run the default program, and the program will assume you're in a shell mode. So it'll sit around and wait for you to type things. And it doesn't have a PTY or anything, but doesn't need one. And what that means is you're going to be able to interact with minimal containers without having to bundle them with an entire Ubuntu distro. And I just can't tell you how amazing that is. Because there's just so many things you can do with that. There's just so many things you can do with that. You can, you want to spin up a web server inside of the Bonzai embedded web server, make a web service subcommand and start it up when you run into it. I cannot wait to show you, because the reason Alpine and BusyBox are the number one container pick for like minimal container distributions is because they're so small, and because BusyBox is a multi-call monolith. And there is no such technology in Golang currently in the world. Bonzai is the first. And I can't wait to show you what that means. A lot of people were like, they just don't get it. They don't see how powerful this is. They will as soon as they start making containers and single quote, and it's going to be fucking huge. I need to get like I need to make an O'Reilly book and do a convention on this or something, convention talk, because it's so big. As soon as I do this, people are going to make like what's his face? War is going to turn Vorpal into the same thing. And because they want to do the same kind of single binary containers, and it's a lot of talk, but for a very few number of people, they're going to get it. They're going to really get it, and it's going to be huge. But right now we have a bug still. So for some reason, this delegation to run the args is not enough. So it's taking off the first argument. And this delegation is not working properly. So I think that what we need to do is, we could just call can here actually. When we call run here, it actually sends it all the way through again, which isn't necessary, but it's also not a problem. But because then it has to go through the sim linking and stuff like that. What we could do instead is just call can directly. So this is essentially the same thing. If we do this, we can do this. We can say, okay, so this one down here is if name. Actually, we can combine all of this together. If we do this, if we say var args string and we combine it. So if there's a dash in it, then we go ahead and split it. And This is the same thing that happens at the beginning of the run command. See up here? It's literally exactly the same thing. So yeah, I probably shouldn't do that twice. This is me like literally copying the same code. No, we don't want that. If it has a dash, we just want to run ourselves. This is not the bug. It's not. This is not the bug. So yeah, if we've got, this is, the only reason this stuff is here is because it's detected a dash. It's detected it, actually, there's never ever going to be a dash in the name of the program. That's what this does differently. This is a multi-call. Check detects whether there's a dash in the thing. So that says there's a dash, and it says I'm going to do a multi-call exe name. And then this is going to run. This is fine. So it's in, the problem is in can. So let's actually write a test case for can. I don't fucking want to, but I want to get done with this, and we're very close to being done. So, all right, can, there's a bug in here somewhere that causes infinite recursion. See if we can find it. I don't need the spaces in there. So some kind of bug causes infinite recursion here. All right, so can names string. So we get a name. If the length of the names is 0, we just return 0 because it can't do it. If there's one name, we just call can on that name, call it a day. And there's no recursion. So those two cases work. We know that works. Everything else is where the length of names is 2 or more. So if there's 2 or more names, then this name is assumed to be the first item, and then we can truncate it because there's 2 or more. That means this one becomes a new names list, becomes one names list. And then we ask ourselves, can I name? But we only should be doing that, actually. Yeah, no, that's wrong. All right, so the names. Thank you for the fall, Irish Whiskey. So the names are. Well, this is where we want to do the recursion. The names is going to be greater than 0. It's always greater than 0. This is always true. Oh, that's the problem. Okay. So return C. So if at a minimum there is one name and there's another name. So we need to see if we can do it. If we can't do it, we return right there. So we need to see if we can do the name. Okay, that I actually had this right before. So if name, if can name, if x.can name, then we need to, if it can't name. If it can't name, actually if name, if C, the command is nil. If C is nil, that means it can't return nil. That's an early exit. Okay, that'll do it. And then otherwise, we're gonna pass the names on. That code should work. I don't know why I didn't catch that before. So this says we're passing names now. Because now names had the name truncated off, or whatever, and taken off there. So that is only the remaining names. So we check if there's, in other words, there's 2 or more here. So the first one is the name. Let's check it. So we check the first one. Okay, if it doesn't pass, I'm like, oh no, this one doesn't pass. Not even worth going down and looking at any others. You're done. If it does pass, then I'm like, okay, well let's go check. Let's recurse and let's recursively call the function again on the rest of the names. So that should not be infinite recursion. I feel confident. Famous last words, right? Var other must begin with whatever. All right, bomb bar. I feel confident in this, but I was totally wrong. Fuck. I was totally wrong. Is it even getting in here? I think this command is correct. I wonder if this always returns nil. Um, I think the answer to this is it should be yes. Is it not truncating it properly? What the hell? I need to make a. I don't want to, but I need to make an example test on this. This is the first item. This is the first item bond. Oh, you know what it is? Wait, do we truncate bond off of there? We did, right? Well, let's start doing some logging. I fucking hate this. I want to just be done, honestly. And we got to turn off the recursion somehow. I don't know how. I think we have taint checking on, by the way. Where did I turn taint checking on? I think I have taint checking turned off. Is it in here to turn it off? I think I turned it off in bond. Or panic. Panic is true, yeah. We're going to trap panic again. Trap the panic. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so that worked. Oh, because I put the exit in there. So bar and other was passed. Okay. So can it bar and other? I mean, it's passing it correctly. That's good to know. That's good to know. And what else? So we get down here. And when we get down here, what do we still have? Can it bar? This should be. Yeah. Name. Name. Names. Names. Dot exit. Name bar names other. Hey, Chite. Got multi-call almost working. This is exactly what we expect. So, and before it was bar and other, and then it chopped off bar, made it into, and then left around with other. So, other. So then C is can it name? Can it bar? And I think the answer is yes. So let's actually do that. Let's log x can name. I think this is where the recursion is going to happen. Honestly, I think that's going to send it off. Nope, it didn't. Oh, it's all compiling, yeah. Yep, it's compiling. It's just, it's totally compilable. I got it back to stable last night, and it hasn't not been stable since then. Multi-call support is in there. Our completion's totally golden, including aliases. So, and params. And multi-call is working for everything except for dash notation, which is something I just barely added. Rooted multi-calls are totally golden. That works. Let me show you. So like if I type bombar, that calls bar. If I type bomb foo, whoops. It'll call foo. If I do /foo, it'll call foo. Whoops, I don't have symlinks for that. Even if aliases, hey Ben, so you can even create aliases at the top if they're top level. If they're top level commands, you can symlink aliases or symlink or hardlink or copy or whatever, and those will actually call the binary, and it'll delegate it to the top level command. So that's multicall. That is BusyBox multicall right there. The thing I'm adding now is even more powerful. So that will actually recurse and it will descend down. So you can have a whole bunch of binaries that are named for their valid paths. And that will allow file system completion of any single command. So we're going to make the bond command will actually generate them and put them in your .local bin. Where's this here? Shell branch that handles commands. Other commands to the shell. I mean, you could, yeah. So I don't know. We were going to do bars today, but I got to get this done, and I'm also on call at work, so I have to check my tickets regularly and see what's going on. Make sure we don't have any open tickets. Okay. But then, yeah, I got lots going on. We right now have a bug, and this bug is going to feel really good to squash. So it is returning true on this. Bombar other fails right now. Okay, so it's saying it can bar. Okay, so that is good. And that means it skips it. And if it couldn't bar, then it should have failed right away. So then if it can bar, then we check to see, we call can recursively, and we're going to see if it can do the next thing, right? So right here, names is other. This should be, I'm pretty sure that's other. Yep. All right, so that's just an other string. So that comes back in here. That has one that has one element, so it returns x dot can names 0. So let's actually make sure we get here. Pretty sure we do. Same. We should have the same output. Yep. All right. So that says yes, other is it, and then it returns can other, and this is where it says no, and it should be x dot can. This should be a fail. Yep, that's a nil. So that returns a nil, which it should because it can't other. Wait. Okay, so that's an error in. Wait a second. So this says it can bar, but can bar other. Oh, I think I found the problem. Bar can other. It's right there. But other is called other. Oh boy, this is weird. So this says can bar other, and the answer is yes. The problem is that it's trying to go beyond that. We want it to stop there. If it can other, then that's it. What it's trying to do is it's trying to go under it and see if it has one. So it's eventually going to run out of room. That's what's happening. It's trying to go all the way down, and it goes to the very last one, and then it ultimately always returns nil. That's the problem. It's always returning nil, which causes it to constantly retry. So that's what's going on. All right, so when it's other, so we want it to stop. We want it to stop. We don't want it to keep going. No, we want it to stop. We want it to say barband other. See how it's nil? So we don't want that. We want it to stop right here. So we want it to say, okay, if it's the last item, then we've made it and we need to return that. That's what's happening. It's like looking right off the end of the thing. So here, I'm gonna try it again. Okay, I'm glad. I think that's the problem. That's a nil now. Can name 0. Yeah, see. So yeah, that is yeah. So can it name? Let's check this again. Let me recreate this. So can it name? Can it name? Yes or no? Yes, it can. Yeah, it can bar. All right, so it can definitely bar, so it skips there. Okay, and then it calls. Okay, now this is where things go bad, right? Because it can bar, so it says, okay, well, what else do we got? And other was passed. So what it's asking is can bar other. Right? That's what this should be. Oh, I did x dot can instead of c dot can. That's the problem. No. No. Let me see about this. Yes, this needs to be c.can. That is it. C equals x dot can name. We want to recursively say, okay, but can the one under it do it? That's where the recursive comes in. Yeah, that's why it has to be. Oh my god. All right, so if c equals nil, return nil. If c equals nil, return nil. Otherwise, do it and keep doing it. So c.can names, because now names has been truncated. Okay, that had better fix it. If that doesn't fix it, I'm gonna be sad. That really should fix it. It did. That fixed it. That fixed it. See how it's running other there now? Bar would run bar. Bon runs bon. Actually, there's no bon. Bar runs bar. Bon, bar, other. Other runs other. So we're good. Multi-call is golden. It was an X. It was a single letter that was wrong. Can you believe that? Welcome to coding. It was literally a single letter that was wrong. It should have been X. Should have been a C. That's it. That's all it was. Get status. Yeah. All right, let's clean this up. I'm super scared now. Git add cmd core blah 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 errors. Git commit dashed multi-call is golden. And on that note, I'm probably going to have to take a break, and then I'm going to restream. I'm going to start a stream back up. And in the stream, we will be doing work stuff. We'll be doing work stuff with regard to Vault. We're going to be using Vault to do some things. But this is a compilable binary now, so go test. There's like, if you want to look at the bond command, if you want to start playing around with it, it's totally usable. The only thing, it doesn't have bars in it. It doesn't have bars. I'm hoping you're going to be here when I do the bar stuff. And because that's really, we got to deal with all the possibilities there. And the embedded help. The embedded help is the doc or help or whatever. And, we're going to have to decide on that. I'm strongly considering making doc have an alias of help, but not have it be complete on automatically. So that would be the way to go. Yeah. Anyway, I need to go eat some lunch and do something. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. Let's do that real quick. All the other stuff is gonna go away. So I kind of want to tag this. Yeah, tag. I don't want it to check out the tag though. So let's tag tag multi-call completion golden. So this has got all of the main stuff in it. This is like the really significant stuff that I wanted to put in it is there. So I mean, that's the behavior for like the how the things get delegated in delegation is completely golden. I am definitely going to tag that because I want people to know they can go back to tag versions if they need them. So, should I merge this? No, because it's a breaking change. How you doing? But yeah, let's Let's go see who's on. I have to go. I was watching Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Who's on right now? I don't. Oh, Prime's on. Damn. The top shelf number 7. That's pretty cool. Let's raid him. Yeah. Yeah, we can raid him. Team is on too, though. Pokebutt's on. Yeah, it's just a tiny little raid, but I like that he's interviewing all these really awesome people. This is super cool. I hope he gets Brian Cantrell on there. That'd be my personal request. I might whisper him and tell him that I want the Brian Cantrell on there. I don't think I can do a raid through Restream. I don't think Restream will let you do a raid. I don't think so. I don't think so. Does he want raids during his interviews? It probably doesn't. I'm guessing he doesn't want to. You guys, I don't want to distract him. Oh, I got a whole $83 this month. Oh, I'm so rich. Raid. Elixir is cool. Elixir is so freaking cool. Yes, it is. It is really cool. Prime. I like what Prime's doing because I don't want to do it. Yeah. Guys, tell him. Yeah. I guess I should probably listen to him for a second. I don't have my headphones. Where are my headphones go? Oh, of course there's an ad. Of course there's an ad as soon as we raid. We have a raid.
Hey, it's me, your skin. This acne.
I have an ad
Cleanse, but will it cause
for acne. I'm 57.
Developed with dermatologists, is powered with
how could I have an ad for acne?
benzoyl
I should really splurge and pay for. I should really go back and pay for.
disrupting my natural barrier.
I should go
So we can
back
treat
and
our
pay.
face and body acne and finally feel comfortable.
Sorry.
New CeraVe acne wash from
My.
the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
Sorry. I should probably sub. I haven't subbed yet. I should probably sub to Nitro again if I'm going to be on Twitch this long. I should go add Nitro back so that I don't have ads. Although, you know, I kind of like supporting streamers rather than doing the whole sub thing. I'm doing the sub thing rather than the other thing. X has the most impact. Oh my god, I'm finally here. Sorry, I'm finally here. Just wanted to say how much I love your interviews. Can you get Brian Cantrell from Oxide? All right, there. Let's see what he says. Maybe he'll get it first.
I'm finally here. I just wanted to say how much I love your interviews. Can you get Brian Cantrell from Oxide? Yeah, we could probably. I'm sure we can start bothering him. Whether or not Brian will accept, very different experience. But we can most certainly bother that. Why not just E for execute? Was E taken? are you trying to? Is this like taking D's nuts? I don't know. I just don't even trust it. Yeah, I actually love that I can actually bother him. Nice. Yeah, I've heard his name a few times. I actually don't know what he does. I just know the name. I've heard him several times
Yeah.
at this point.
Is it
I
time
know he has something to do with
for
some sort
OS
of
into
the
Rust?
P99
Is my
level
favorite
of scaling. That's like about as
YouTube
far as I know.
video
teach us
of
to
all
go.
time.
Okay,
Is it?
interview TJ. TJ and I actually were thinking about sitting down and interviewing each other.
Yeah.
It's time to port an OS into Rust. It's a funny world. I really loved the response. It's Flip interview went. Maybe
No.
we'll see. Flip, I don't know if you're ready. You live on the streets, bud. With firmware with Rust. Oh, okay, that's nice. Brian was not supposed to admit that we were thinking about this. Why not? These are just episodes. They're just guests. When can we not? What? Of course we can admit that. I'll
Yeah.
admit anything I want. It was yeah, it's hilarious for its own reasons. Brand risk. My editor is a brand risk. That's why I hired him, because he's amazing. So this is what my thoughts were, is that I was thinking about tomorrow
All right, everybody.
doing a day in which involves just going over.
What's he doing
It
tomorrow?
could be a fun way to end our podcasting career. This is actually a fact. I was thinking about just going over Elixir tomorrow. So what do you think about this?
Elixir.
That maybe we wake up in the morning, do a couple articles, and then do like a day learning Elixir. Because I feel like my server's almost done. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of simulation testing. What you guys missed out on while me and TJ were talking is I built this configuration right here. Look at this configuration. Min rounds, max rounds, min connections, max connections, min connections adds, min connection removes. These are sine waves. So 2 different sine waves, 2 different like kind of just like standard deviations right here. And what I have done is I've built something that runs the simulation over and over and over again. So I have a simulator runner now. So it literally just takes a bunch of params and reruns the simulation and has everything run and determines if it fails. If it fails, it saves out all the files. It does all that and then reruns the simulation over and over again.
That's
and
cool.
Last night I ran 477 successful simulations, going somewhere between 50 to 500 rounds of adding connections.
Wow.
And I had 39 failed sessions. So now I can refine those sessions, get the exact what random number seed generator was there, how many additions were there, what did the connection add and removes look like. I can regenerate those sessions and rehab them run and try to figure out what caused the errors on those
Ghost syntax.
Because I've already found one really weird deep error.
I love
now
Ghost
it's like I can
syntax.
find one more really weird deep error, hopefully, and then it's time to be
Aspartame.
launching probably on Fly.io. React source code is just not fun to read. I've read it many times. It's not fun. I've spent days reading React source code. It's just not fun.
React source code. Oh my god.
What if this all turns out this was caused by deterministic cosmic radiation? Aliens.
All right, time for me to get some work done. See everybody.
Yeah, Fly.io is expensive. Yeah, I'm going to try Fly.io. The problem is I just needed something that could launch really, really fast. Read the Golang source code.
Yeah, it's
Generally speaking, I think
bad.
Golang source code is some of the ugliest source code I've read. I read in a long time.
It depends on which source code you read.
The amount of just...
It depends on
nice. This one's not too bad. It actually uses
the core
too bad. It
library
uses
is
the
written by
full-
so
this
many
is the
different
full-on
people. There's so many
Kubernetes.
different
It's the word
styles in
data.
there
Crazy.
that it's
Some
not
of these are
fair.
looking
It's not
so
fair to
weird,
say
it's
it's
like,
ugly. It is ugly,
hell.
but if you
Have
look
you
at the stuff that
created
Rob
your-
Pike wrote,
I'd have to, maybe it's
yeah, it's pretty good.
file.
Anyway,
There's
gotta go.
There's a lot of single letters that go on often in this. This isn't too bad. This is
I
pretty readable.
love single letters.
That's pretty.
I
readable.
fucking love single letters.
They're like writing ancient runes. Yeah, there's some pretty awful ones. Is what we hoped Heroku would become. Yeah, I think Fly.io is not. It is definitely more expensive, but it's also not as expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye.
Readable code.
Gotta go. He heard Elixir. He only knows